Okay, so I will start with XRP, and let's have a little look here. I've zoomed out to the daily, and just a couple of points. You can see the daily consolidation range here, and you can see it bouncing along. Here's the point of control. So again, you can see it continually last week, 10 days, bouncing along the point of control. Even longer for a bunch of weeks here. It's been on top, a bit of resistance, and we're back to sort of playing between support and resistance. Yeah. So now just white line here. I'm just looking at this as a general support line here. Yeah. Excuse me, and it was fairly solid all the way through. Bit of resistance here, support, back to being a bit of resistance here again. Yeah, so just that's where it is on the volume ranges. So now when we put the indicators on, I'm going to be saying the same thing I've been saying all week, because we're still in the same position. So I'm going to show you through bearish and bullish divergence. Yeah. So on the daily, you can see that when we bottomed out here, again you can see the bullish divergence. We get a top out here, and again the bearish divergence, and then you can see the same playing out here. Bottomed out again, there's the bullish. We topped out, there's the bearish. So now I'm going to look at this pattern here and observe where we are on it on this one. Yeah. So you can see that you get the drop down here. So you get the drop down here. You get a sideways action going on for a bunch of times, and then you get one final lift up. And again, there's a 1, 2, the three tops, and then you get the dump. So that's what happened on the dump here. Yeah. So here is again, here's the top. We're getting the bearish divergence. Here's the dump. So we've got the same drop here as we have here. We're getting this sideways with a lift. Is potentially we get a bounce and then one more final lift up, possibly to 41.30 or so. Again, before down here is we get the dump, possibly. Yeah. So now you can see what we're waiting for is we could potentially go all the way up to 43.30 and do a double top here, which when we look at the bigger spill here is, and the volumes were very different here, so it's harder to match up the RSI. The RSI was here, not so much though. So look, here's the top. We get the drop. So look, there's the drop. And then this time is you get a much longer lift up, and it takes you to a double top. So in between that, look, you've got a level here and a level here. So you get a double top here, but then it continues on up to get a double top here. And then you get the rejection, and then you get the dump to the bottom. Yeah. So it seems like the daily is definitely going to the bottom. RSI doesn't necessarily mean we're breaking lower. We'll have a look at that in a moment. So a lift, it looks like we are potentially going to have, when this sideways eventually gets done, a lift to 41.30 or so, a bounce off the, let me see what this is, the 200 EMA here, and then also this is the high volume level here on the consolidation range, or we may get that higher lift to the double top here at 43.30, 43 or so. Okay, so it does look like potentially we get that, and then we get the dump. So you can see the sideways here is eventually we get the dump. Yeah. So now it doesn't mean we're going to break a lower low. So it would be very interesting if this was to come to play where we get the lift and then the drop. When the RSI bottoms here, it's how far down does it go. So we may just get a 786 correction where we get a drop down to around 3150, even to the low volume support line here at about 31 or so, somewhere around there. We could just get a drop to there, and you get the 786, the correction of this, which is what we got here. We got this 786 correction. We got a little lift to the 0.5, and then we got the breakout. So now we could break out from here, just break the pattern and then lift and break through. We could do that as well, yeah. But I'm looking at the RSI on the daily, and the RSI on the daily is telling me that it needs to bottom out first before that happens, yeah. So now the question is that when the RSI on the daily does start to bottom out, it depends on how powerful the push is. If we get a 786, great, and we get a 0.5, the question is, will we get a, like this here, we get a correction, we get a final lift to a 0.5. This is a 786 correction as well, and then it pumps. That's what I'll be looking for if we get price action down here. Are we going to get that, and then we break up, or we get a lower low? We get a lower low first. We get a lower low first. So there's the lower low at the moment of this bear market at 2867. Will we get that extra push, get a lower low first, yeah? Or a massive dump, the final dump before the pump for the bull market, yeah? I don't think we're that far away from the bull market. Either way, it's just a question of, yeah, have we bottomed out, or do we need to have a wipeout first? Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, so that's what I'm looking at. When I zoom in, you can see. Let me put this. Actually, let me put this here. There we go. You can see on the MAs at the moment, you can see price action is working between this space here, yeah. And you can see the 200 MA here. Here's the 200 MA as resistance, and then the 50 MA is coming up as support, yeah. Now at the same time, you see the light blue in here, the 10 is coming around, and now the 10 is breaking away from the 50 and really giving a push through here. And at the same time, the 5, the orange one, again was going sideways. It is going sideways at the moment. The VWAP was up today at the moment, yeah. So you can see there seems to be a bit of a concerted effort for a bit of a push from the bottom. But again, the 200 here is stoic. It's been stoic in its resistance lately. So we got to see. We got to see. It could fail, just turn and dump. It could do that. Generally, the previous price actions. Remember, I was pointing out this. I'll show you now. It even did it here. You can see. You can see this. You get drop is the lift, the drop. Now you see it does a double top here. See the double top? You get a drop, and then you get that final lift. So when we look at this here, again you can see that we've come and we've had a drop here, and then we've had a lift. Now I know we've had a lift to here, but equally I'm going to point out that we've had a lift to here. We've had a lower drop, and the reason why I'm doing that is because there's a wick that's come up to here as well. So we're having that level, like these two here. You're getting this level, these two level wicks. You get a drop down here. So look, we've got a drop down here, and potentially is again we could be coming up, and that final lift could be showing itself, and possibly we just come to 41.50, and then that's it, and we get our turn and we get our dump. Or if we come up here, the same pattern played out, but it played out just a little differently. Is you get the drop, the lift, the deeper drop, and again look, here's the double top here. You get the drop down, and then this one, rather than coming up a little higher, is it comes all the way up for a double top. Here we go, yeah. So again, it just depends on what, seemingly to me, what one plays out, yeah. Are we going to get the lift to 41.50 and then turn, or are we going to get that bigger lift to 43? Yeah. So if I see a nice long red candle on, or blue candle on the daily, so this may want to drop down, and this may want to do another drop before it comes up. Like it's you know, it's hard, very hard to read at the moment. So, but what I will be looking for is when the move does happen, is are we going to get a long green candle like this? If we start to get a long green candle like this on the daily, I think we have our answer for the next day, a potential turn and a dump down. Yeah, is if it continually, rather than a long green candle, again we get this gradual lift going on until we get that final blow off. Is that's going to indicate that this is more gradual, it's going to take longer. Yeah. So that's what I'm looking for. So if I start to see a long green candle, I think once that stops at the end of the day, we might have another little lift, and then that's it. We're going to turn and drop down. Yeah. So I'll be looking to go short then. If it's more gradual, and I can see it's breaking through, but more gradually, again, I'll look for my double top entry here. Yeah. So that's pretty much what I'm being patient for. I'm being patient because this is just doing its thing at the moment. Yeah. Is worst case scenario is it doesn't do that, turns around and it drops. It will still give me a range. So potentially this is a lift. It come down here. It could do a 786, do a 0.5, and want to continue on down. When I start to see it break below 36.20, when I see it breaking this, even possibly doing a break below this and a back test. I see that back test, and again, that will be my short entry there. Yeah. And again, it starts breaking above 43. I'll be looking for a back test here and then continuation on up. Yeah. Probably a back test off the 200, I believe EMA. If it breaks above this and does a back test 200 EMA, again, it gives a nice opportunity for a long position. Yeah. But between now and then it's just tricky. It's tricky to read. Yeah. If we just look at what's going on so far today, is you can see the day turned. Look, the 10 is making its move, pushing up strong. The VWAP is up as well. So far today, price action has come down to the point of control line, the red line here, and again it's pushed back up so far. Yeah. So now as the hours turn, so the 10 hour has turned, you see the VWAP is turning. So potentially is this we could be getting a little turn here and a push down, or later on the day this the VWAP will take a turn up. I think when we see the 12-hour turn, when the 12-hour turns in another 2 hours or so, and we see what the VWAP wants to do, maybe with the 12-hour turn we could get that push down. But yeah, I'm not going to jump into what 1 hour is doing and another hour is doing too much, because there's support, there's resistance, they're both playing against each other. It's choppy, so it's a spaghetti western at the moment. Yeah. On the RSI, you can see, remember we were talking about that final lift and dump. You see the RSI is on the daily is very close to the top. Again, we get a turn on this, maybe a last final lift up, or turn on this, and then down it comes. Yeah, is on the shorter time frames. Top right, the hour is again topping out, looking like it wants to come down. 2 hours topped out. The 3 hours topped out. 4 hours pushing down. This is where you get the contradiction. Yeah, is 4 hours pushing down pretty strong here, but the 1, 2, and 3 hour look like they're ready to take a turn down. Yeah, so 4 hours. Oh, my apologies. That's the 80 hour. My apologies. Sorry, the 4 hours pushing up. My apologies. The RSI, stock RSI in the 4 hours pushing up. There's the 6 pushing up. There's the 8 up. 9 is up. 10 is up. The 12 hour is down. And the 18 hour is down. And the daily is cresting at the moment. Yeah. So you can see that the later time frames are coming down. Sorry, get my head right here. Sorry, the earlier time frames, the 1 wants to come down, the 2, the 3 look like they're ready to come down, and the 4 hour, the 4 hour is up, the 6 hour, all the way up to the 10 hour is turned up, and then we have the 12 hour coming down. Okay, so look, I'm confusing myself here. So you can see, but you can see the confusion of it is the earlier time frames look like they want to correct the earlier hours. Is the 12 hour looks like it wants to keep coming down, but between the 4 and the 10 are going up. So you can see this. You can see this constant push and pull between them. Yeah. So if it is going to do a bit of a correction, it doesn't look like it's going to get very far. And equally, you can see. Go to the 1 hour. Yeah, you can see it topping out on the 1 hour. A lot of resistance. It couldn't break this. You can see a potential reversal here. Couldn't break this again. The 1 hour is pushing down. It's pushing very strong. It looks like it could take a dip down, but then when you look at the 4 hour, well, let's have a quick look at the 2 hour. Then look, there's the 2 hour just turned 15 minutes ago, and look, there's the 5 taking a turn up. Yeah, so that looks like it might actually want to start pushing more here. Right, look, the 3 is trying to take a turn down. You get what I'm saying. It's just like it's just caught in a spaghetti western with the MAs at the moment. So really what needs to happen, back to the daily, is the 200 at at 39.67. Really need to see price action get properly above that. Yeah. And then equally the 50 here at 38.97. So look, you can see it getting just tighter and tighter. So there's definitely seems like something's going to break pretty soon, yeah. So we need to see 39.67 price action get above that, and maybe it's just a candle up, a long candle up, turn around, and a rejection. So watch for a long green candle on the day, or else it's something more tedious, and we're getting this type of thing that could drag on for into next week. Look, you're just getting up and down like this, and eventually it hits a double top here, and then we get our turn down. So watch out for either one of those, yeah. Is if it really is going to turn and break down without doing that, is again we would still need to see it break the 50 here at 38.97, break it, back test it, and then continue on down and breaking below again, breaking below 36.20. So breaking this here, yeah. So yeah, so until we get one of those moves and it gives us a bit of volume and a clearer direction, this is all just chop. Probably the best place to trade here within this would have been the 15-minute rather than the 1 hour. Yeah, you'd be catching those swings on the 1 minute. But lots of volatility within a day. Yeah. Okay, so that's me for now. I'm just being patient. I'm waiting to see what's going to happen over the next coming days and week. Okay. So that's it. Keep well. Enjoy the rest of your day.